Hey everybody, good morning. I just wanted to do a quick update on Bitcoin and Ethereum for the 26th of July 2022. I'm going to be doing these probably on a weekly, no, maybe on every 2 days, just so I can update my positions and also keep a regular track of market momentum for you guys. So I think today's a good day to start it off. In 2 days, we're going to have a big actually, tomorrow we're going to have a big update from the FOMC and the Fed. So we'll see. We'll see if we're in a recession, and we'll get a lot more data for the macro markets. So that's an interesting thing. I think a lot of people are unwinding positions due to those. It's a heavy week, not only for the FOMC and the Fed, but also for a bunch of earnings calls for a lot of tech companies. So I can see a lot of people unwinding going into tomorrow. But still, this was a very interesting play. So we had this range, which I think a lot of people have seen on Twitter, with our high being 22K and our low being 19. And a lot of people called this like a deviation play, where a deviation is when price is trading within a range. We get a breakout, but then it doesn't sustain. And it's sort of just like taking liquidity at the highs before entering back into the range. And actually here yesterday, it looked pretty good. Like we had an initial retest. It looked like it was holding up as support. Even if you go into the 4 hour, you can see here. But then as soon as we bought back a little bit, price just nuked back down. And now price is trading below our resistance and back into its range, which is not the best. Unless BTC gets some nice buyback here and clears back above 22K, there's pretty much no reason to be in a long position. A fresh long position from here. Looking at the 12 hour, you can see that. If we take our range EQ, which is like our equilibrium, which is like the mean average of the range, we have some support around 20.5, which I can just mark in. So you can expect some support here, but nothing too long yet. Maybe if we see something like that, this would be your long trigger for BTC on like a 1 day time frame. But like I said, considering tomorrow is a big day for macro markets, I don't expect it to be too much buying. Most people probably will be unwinding positions from lower. What we don't want to see though is to see a more bearish setup where we flip the range EQ back into resistance, and then we're technically testing our range low for the fourth time. So we had 3 previous retests, each one getting a little bit more, substantial in terms of candlestick retests. And now this would be our 4th retest, and it would be fair to say that it's possible that it would break on this retest, but let's wait and see. We had a higher low here from here. And we could sort of form a high low here. Maybe if this holds during today and tomorrow, and we get some type of good news from the Fed, maybe they take the foot and they press it on the pedal and they raise hikes. They raise rates a lot more heavily, and we don't see them softening. Then the market could bounce. You might think that's a little bit strange to see the markets bounce if the Fed's pretty heavy on the markets, but that's what we want to see. We want to see a strong and defined Fed, and not some hawkish soft landing bullshit. So let's wait and see. Maybe we can get a nice squeeze back higher if this holds tonight and tomorrow. Let's also take a look at Ethereum, which is it has a lot more interesting price action because we had a much more substantial breakout. So similar to BTC, you have your range high here. which we broke on this attempt, sending Ethereum back to pretty close to 1600. And now we was looking at 1500 to hold as support, which has now failed. So now we're in sort of a little free fall for a while. First support being 1350, and then if this fails, probably back down to the range high, which is 1200. There's not much, like BTC, not much trades to be taken. We might get some form of support here for the rest of the day. But really, until we see a flip of, let's call it 1500 to be safe. I'll show you the macro in a minute. It's a bit more interesting. Unless we see 1500 flip to support again, no major rush to be in a long position from here. I sold actually my 900 buys at around 15,500, 1550, sorry. So I'm not in a long position right now. While holding a little bit of spot on cold storage, my exchanges are dry with USDT and USDC. So yeah, expect some support here at 1300, and if that fails, then back down to the range low at around 1200, which is still not terrible. We have a lot more room to play with compared to BTC, so that's the interesting idea there. If we take a look at Ethereum on the 3-day, you can see here, which is a lot more prolific. We have this this low here, which I marked in a while ago at this is 15,500. It also pretty much lines up nicely with our 236 fib level at 15,790. And we got these three horrific candles just melting through, but everything seemed to just close below. And even on the daily, you can just see a lot of rejection from this level. So this would be a level I would mark out now as like a major resistance level, 1600, let's say. And on a macro level, you don't really want to be, you want to be, if you want to look for intraday longs or like quick scalp setups, you want to be longing from this level once it gets flipped into support, because that's a lot of selling pressure, and to see bulls not being able to break through is pretty substantial. So yeah, for me right now, on like a 3 or 4 day time frame, we got pretty good rejection. I mean good as in clean, a pretty clean rejection from the 236 fib level at 1600, and now I would be looking to rebuy 1300, so on the top of this block here, if it holds the support. So perfect example of this would be to come down today, to get a nice retest, maybe towards the end of today, or maybe early tomorrow, and then the Fed gives us some decent news based on markets, and stocks bounce, and then we get a nice clean retest, and then we can head higher, which would probably be my bullish setup. So buying 1300 is interesting to me at the moment. Let's just wait and see how it holds, because if we do break down from that level again, it's going to be nasty, and we're going to have to retarget the lows. So that's currently what I'm looking at on BTC and Ethereum. I will make another video tomorrow after the Fed meeting. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video. Thanks for watching.